REKT Podcast is brought to you by Honey Miner. Want to start mining, but never had the technical skills or time? Honey Miner is the answer. Honey Miner is a one-click install mining software that downloads directly to your computer and earns you Bitcoin. No more writing scripts or configurations. Just download the desktop app and start mining immediately. What are you waiting for? Go to honeyminer.com and start earning Bitcoin while you sleep today. That's honeyminer.com, on Twitter at GetHoneyMiner, and Telegram at t.me/honeyminer.
We are the Coin Boys.
And this is REKT.
Hello and welcome to the Coin Boys and REKT podcast extravaganza. I am Bunchu Betts, joined alongside, one of the most powerful teams in the crypto podcast space. First and foremost, you know him well. He is Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing good. Pretty excited about this, guys. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be honest here. This is getting the creative juices flowing.
It's getting something
flowing. I don't know.
It's getting something flowing. But yeah, we've had this planned for a while, so very exciting. We do have a surprise guest today. You may know her if you haven't forgotten about her.
Special guest.
We have the one and only Cynthia Wood back with us today for the Coin Boys podcast. Cynthia, what's going on?
I'm here. I liked you guys' response when I signed on to the Hangout.
Yeah, we were all surprised.
Loud yelling and shock and awe.
We were excited to have you. I mean, last couple of days, actually last whole week, you were sick with the swamp flu. You had the Florida gator flu.
It was so bad. I've never been so sick in my life.
Wait, is the swamp flu like another word for diarrhea?
It's the real flu. It just happened in Florida.
Oh, okay.
It's the flu that happens in Florida.
Got
we were joking around, naming it all kinds of weird things.
I felt
like the gator
so bad.
Swamp flu. So she had the flu, and then not only did she have the flu, but then this week she's been Amish and had no internet connection.
No freaking Wi-Fi. It has been just one thing after another. But I'm here tonight.
Does that mean
that's all that matters?
You had the best baked goods and stuff because I know Amish people make good baked goods.
Good butter.
They sure do.
They stir the butter and all that stuff.
Yeah, so while she had no Wi-Fi, she was just home with her eight children churning butter
all day.
Yeah, my child army.
Your child army, not to be confused with XRP army. But anyway, so in addition to the normal REKT crew, we have the Coin Boys. Coin Boys, how are you doing?
Pretty good, guys.
We're doing really good.
Thank you so much for letting us do this joint podcast with you.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
It's we're excited about it. So we have Andy, or as you may know him from Twitter, at producer BTW.
Yes.
And Daniel Gutierrez. So
what's up, everybody?
Dan, what's your Twitter handle?
It's a little complicated. It's dgutierrez84.
Perfect.
He flies under the radar. I'm kind of right on the surface for us, and Daniel's kind of
the thing is,
radar.
my Twitter's full of like penis jokes and nothing about crypto. So that's
wait, have you ever listened to our podcast?
Yes,
our
I have.
Yes, I have. And nothing about crypto.
That's why I was like, I want to get on REKT. This will be. I have a home now.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we're very irreverent, and we took a beginner's crypto quiz on our podcast yesterday, and only got an 80%. So we're just here to party.
80% is a B, is it not? Man, I graduated with
your parents were really strict on you.
So
guys, I would have brought that score up had I been on, but
guaranteed you would have.
You probably would have. But anyway, Coin Boys, you had an interesting day today. Why don't you tell everybody what you guys did?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So LA, I guess, is the second annual Crypto Invest Summit at the Convention Center, which is no joke. It's a nice convention center, great place to have a convention. I usually go to the E3 convention, the gaming convention there.
And while they were having it, by the way,
yes.
A bunch of people got their citizenship.
In the other hall, they had the citizenship ceremony. So there were all these, happy immigrants getting their American citizenship. So me and Daniel are walking through crowds of happy people with American flags and like just celebrating, taking pictures. Really, really, really moving.
Yeah,
I would say.
And everybody was telling me congratulations, thinking I was an immigrant.
Jerks.
That's so funny.
And I was just the gringo.
I was like, I'm with this guy.
So anyway, we walked.
No, I'm with him.
So we walked over. So it's basically it's great. We missed the Wozniak. He was there.
We had just missed Steve Wozniak. He had just spoke.
Yeah, and they had a big stage that I must say was well built with cameras and beautiful lighting, and you could just walk in and out of it and sit through conferences and watch people talk. Then they had the booths set up, and that's where Daniel and I were kind of hitting the floor, finding out projects that we might think be great on our show, or just meeting people, So
yeah, it was really cool. It's my first summit, like their first kind of like convention that I've ever been to, but it's so beneficial, I've realized now, because we can definitely talk to people directly. You have like access to the people that you have questions for a lot of the time.
And it was financially beneficial because Abra, have you guys heard of Abra before?
Yeah, I know Abra.
Yeah.
So they're like, sign up for an app. I'll give you $25 in Bitcoin. I'm like,
and we said yes.
Sure. Here you go.
You're like, hell yeah.
That could be upwards
cheap.
of $1 million in a couple of years.
That's what I was going to say.
That's how my math works.
That's how my math works. But I'm watching this guy. He's like, all right, give me your wallet. And he's just dropping 25s in people's freaking wallet like it's water. I was like, wow.
We'll take it.
That I would have been the guy that comes back around wearing 10 different disguises and fake mustaches.
That's so funny.
I highly considered it. If I thought I could get away with it.
Faber and I would have been like two guys in a trench coat on top of each other, and then we would have switched around, and that's exactly what we would have done.
But I think the meat and potatoes of it all is that we got to meet a lot of people, but I think the most exciting part was when Daniel looked over at me. He's like, hey, Old Dirty Bastard's here. And I was like, what are you talking about? Old Dirty Bastard's dead. And
I genuinely was very scared because I was looking at a guy, because they had a picture of ODB, and this guy standing next to him. I'm like, oh my God, am I the racist or seeing a ghost?
No, it's 100% a ghost, right?
I was like, he looked exact. It was crazy.
And for a split second, I honestly was like confused if Old Dirty Bastard was still alive. Was there like some conspiracy?
Could have been Mandela effect chamber.
Oh my goodness.
Could have been.
Long story short, we figured it out. It was his.
Yeah.
We figured it out though. It was his like son, right?
It was his son.
And he seemed very nice.
Yeah, which we found out just right now his name is Young Dirty Bastard.
Yes. So just to quickly talk about this, guys, if you don't mind, is that it's originally called Dirty Coin, and its abbreviation, of course, is ODB. It's created by Young Dirty Bastard to fund and support music projects, ventures, including books, video games. Dirty added that plans to use ODB coins as payment for concerts, merchandise, and himself, his album.
It was basically a coin for himself.
But they're doing a token sale and all that stuff. So that was really interesting. But overall, guys, it was super. I thought it was great. And we actually got interviewed for once. Like, that was cool. Like,
Who interviewed you?
Our friends. No, but
that counts.
Hey, that's all right. My mom called me earlier and interviewed me earlier.
It was really
cool.
No. It's our. They're kind of our media partners out here. Blockchain Beach in LA. They put on like local events. They're doing a yacht tomorrow. We're going on.
Yeah,
crypto yacht.
I saw a tweet about that. That looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
we don't know if that's the yacht though. So that's
we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Let's just pretend that is that is the yacht.
I will.
I'm definitely
tomorrow. You'll see Lil Yachty, and he'll be promoting Lil Yachty coin.
Oh my God!
And that
these things are getting ridiculous.
That's what you get tomorrow. But I'm actually looking at this ODB coin article. And he is quoted as saying, I couldn't be more excited about the future for ODB coin. And I know my dad would have felt the same way. ODB's son, Young Dirty, said in a statement, it's a great way to connect with fans and reward them for their interest. I look forward to delivering even more music that would make my dad proud. So, yeah, it sounds like it's a coin for him.
Yeah.
I mean, if Old Dirty was alive today and he said, "Dad, I'm making a coin with Bitcoin," he's like, "What the fuck is Bitcoin?"
No. You didn't realize the clue that was in that article, man.
What was the clue? He died before Bitcoin, didn't he?
So he is Satoshi Nakamoto.
All right.
He left the white papers, bro.
I hope he is, because I loved Old Dirty.
ODB is Satoshi. Mark it down.
Now that you say it out loud, that totally makes a lot of sense.
I'm telling you, if his dad knew.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. It's really starting to come together. I think we've come to the. I think we've found the pot at the end of the rainbow.
He's starting to connect those dots on that corkboard.
Satoshi.
There you go. You heard it here, folks. First,
Satoshi Nakamoto. But that was pretty much wraps it up, right?
Yeah. Have you guys ever been to a summit or anything like that before?
I know. So Cynthia has. Cynthia was just at Voices of Crypto in Chicago a couple months ago. Yeah, and she was a voice.
How do you?
I was a voice. I had my name on a poster.
Nice.
That's awesome.
We wish someday we'll get a poster. But do you?
Someday.
But how do you feel about going to these things? Do you feel that there's any value in going to those things, or is it just like a shill fest?
Some conferences are shill fests. A lot of them are not. Voice of Block was a smaller venue where you could really talk to people and get questions answered. So it's just kind of touch and go.
Yeah, I agree. Today, though, I didn't feel they were very shilly. I felt like they were just waiting for you to ask them questions. But I mean, there were people giving out cards and stuff. Maybe I'm half.
I will
shilly.
say this particular one had the only real ICO that I saw was ODB coin. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Las Vegas. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, you guys are going to that?
Yeah.
I'm very jealous.
Oh, you guys aren't coming?
No, we are not coming to that. We're not big time enough yet.
No, we're only the only reason why
we're not at Coin Boys level.
We're
only going because we're driving distance.
Self suckers, because I've got a ticket. Okay?
Nice.
You're going?
You're gonna go?
So that horse and buggy's gonna take a long time to get to Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
She's on her way actually right now.
This is where the Wi-Fi connection problems are coming from. Excellent.
So just to close out on ODB coin,
yes.
If we had any doubt that he was Satoshi Nakamoto before now, I think there is a quote from him that pretty much sums it up right here. It says, "Look here, mo money, mo problems, my ass. Use a naive cat if you still believe that." I mean, that's Satoshi, right?
You know what?
That's all the way.
I saw that in the white paper.
That was in the white paper.
Was in the white paper. Thank you, guys. Drop the mic. We're done.
Should have taken a picture when we really screwed that up.
I messed up taking a picture with Satoshi Nakamoto's son.
God damn it.
That's funny. But anyway, so I actually did want to mention one more thing before we got into any other antics here. I just listened to your podcast the other day with the guys from Toward to Crypto.
Okay.
And then I saw over the weekend that one of their guys had gotten into a really bad accident, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No way.
So, yeah, he was like in the hospital. Yeah, he was in the hospital, and it was like
he's
okay. It looked really bad.
But I know I think they're pushing forward without him, but he's definitely recovering.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah,
I wanted to give a shout out to those guys too, because that was a really great interview and a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff in there. So definitely wanted to give them a shout and our best wishes and keep trucking along with everything you're doing. And I hope full recovery there, obviously, as well.
I'm sorry. Did you guys say he was out of the hospital yet, or is he still in the hospital?
I have to check.
I think he's still in the hospital.
I've been getting updates from Blake, who was on the show on the Telegram group that we're in.
Yeah, so every once in a while we'll know, but we think he's still in the hospital, and hopefully he'll catch up with them at some point once he's recovered.
They're supposed to end in Huntington Beach, which is pretty much where we can make that, and we hope to. We want to. So shout out to them as well. Yeah, good call, man. Like they've been working hard for so long. I'm sorry that he got hurt, but full recovery, and they're gonna keep pushing.
Maybe they can get some of those guys that got too drunk in New Orleans to rejoin them.
When he told me that, I'm like, that's commitment to drinking right there. You're gonna.
That would be me.
Hey, listen,
those guys would be me.
Absolutely.
But Yeah, so there's that, and then the other fun thing that we wanted to bring up was the Elon Musk tweet that's been going around with his. So the original tweet was him saying, "I heart anime," and then underneath it, a couple replies down, it said, "Hey, you want to buy some Bitcoin?" And it was an anime girl draped in the Bitcoin logo and Bitcoin sash. So what are your thoughts about Elon Musk getting into Bitcoin and anime in a big way?
Well, I can't believe it. I mean, I am so excited for Eli. Psych. I don't know. Like, this is just, what is this? Like, it's an anime Bitcoin. This is how crypto Twitter, this is what crypto Twitter has turned into, and Elon Musk is involved in it.
Yeah,
to me, it's just like, I don't know what to
I
think.
just like the FUD that it created, because I'm like, okay, let me see the stories that people are going to come up with next.
Sorry, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. It is happening, and that's the other thing we saw going on in crypto Twitter today is Barry Silbert, or Shilbert, as I like to affectionately refer to him as, tweeted, "It's happening," and the whole crypto Twitter sphere went nuts. And for about 2 hours, that's literally everything you saw on Twitter. I tweeted, "What's happening? I have no clue what the hell is happening." I'm not sure. What is it? So what is it that's happening? Anybody have any guesses?
I thought you guys were just talking about The Happening. That's what I was tweeting out.
Oh my god.
The Happening, the Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yeah, the Mark Wahlberg, M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Now the twist in that one was you didn't get your money back. Like,
Oh,
God. It was bad. But no,
This is
the best part about crypto Twitter. Twitter, period. Twitter and the crypto peeps together. The second somebody says one thing, and the more cryptic it is, the more funny it gets, and everybody starts going up in the air, starting off with their rumors, starting off with their suspicions, when it just means Elon Musk is rich enough to mess with the world, and that's what he's doing, and he knows he's doing it.
You hit it right on the head. Yeah. That is the best part about crypto Twitter. I guess Twitter, like you said, Twitter in general, but crypto Twitter specifically, it could be the most, like you said, very secretive or cryptic message, and everybody just loses their shit. And I love being a part of it.
Yeah, no,
it's so much fun.
It's kind of like when you see, during alt season, when one of the big accounts just tweets a random chart and says, "Would you buy this?" And, and it's
always buy it.
Yeah, I know you do. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like it could be anything.
Basically, if John McAfee had been the one to tweet Covfefe, then there would have been a Covfefe coin or exchange immediately.
100%.
That's hilarious.
Are we sure that there's not a Covfefe coin?
Pre-ICO right now, guys.
In totally unrelated news, I will be attending World CryptoCon at my own booth, Covfefe Coin, pre-ICO starting soon. I will be there. Yeah, I will be there. We've got a really great advisor team. Both of the Coin Boys are as advisors.
Could you use Ryan Gosling as my face on your website?
Yes, Ryan Gosling will be your face, and David Cross will be Chambers' face.
Good.
Just use my face. It's the same face.
It's 100% pre-mined, but don't worry, it's decentralized.
It's decentralized, but we're going to hold on to 70% for funding
for lockup. Yeah,
the wallets.
We're actually also partnering with ODB Coin, so you might be able to buy his shitty rap music.
The greatest thing on the face of the planet.
Yeah. Anyway,
awesome.
But that's that's crypto Twitter, and it's a wonderful place.
It's It's a blast.
It's a jazz.
I almost said it's a jazz.
It's a jazz. He's trying to make new slang.
Now everyone on Twitter is going to say jazz and think that Bitcoin's going through the roof, and it's going to explode.
You got it. We're starting it. Heard it here first. It's jazz is the newest crypto slang term.
I gotta tweet that now. I gotta tweet that.
But
I'm gonna tweet it right in a second.
What did I say? It's jazz.
I did have a question for you guys, though. Now, we poke fun at shitcoins all the time. That's what we do. But do you guys get any value from studying up or reading up on a shitcoin? Even if it's a coin that you know is shit, but you read through it anyways?
I would say yes. I'm going to leave this to, I feel like Chamber's the resident shitcoin doctor in our podcast. Chamber, why don't you take the first part of that question and I'll add to it.
I do find value in it. Even if it's just like you said, even if it's just an obvious shitcoin, I would say it helps you sift through the garbage a little bit more. The more shit you see, and then when you see an actual decent project that's out there, it kind of shines through a little bit more, I would say, when you're looking at shit all the time. So I think there's a benefit there.
I would agree. And the best example of this that we've seen, I think, me and Chamber recently, is we just started doing a segment on our show called No FOMO. And the point of it is basically we are talking about, the top 4 or 5 coins that have pumped the hardest in the last, week or the last 24 hours. And we kind of go through what those coins are. And they could be, we've seen stuff that's been up 1,000% that doesn't have a website. And so, we're
fact.
And so
happen?
Yeah. And so we're trying, the goal of the segment is kind of us go through kind of a little DYOR and, kind of help people think about, all right, what it is they should be looking at or why they shouldn't be, FOMOing in or chasing pumps and things like that. So I totally think it does help in the exact same sense that Chamber said, where it's sifting through it and kind of teaching yourself what's good, what's not, what to look for, what to clearly run away from, and, to prevent the maximum REKT.
Well, even just to add to that too, we were joking about Covfefe coin, and the first thing you had mentioned was our advisors, and that's kind of a red flag too. If when I'm looking at maybe taking a position in something, if the first thing on the website, and say it's a decent website, if the first thing that they're kind of showing you is the advisors as opposed to the developers, that's kind of maybe not a red flag. We'll call it an orange flag.
Code orange.
But I like
copy.
I like to see the dev team first, and then advisors. If you're going advisor first, that's suspicious to me.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say when I do research like that for over Shitcoin, or even when we interview somebody that maybe they won't end up on our podcast, but we ended up talking to them, I feel like we learned something about the possible future, a possible trajectory of maybe this coin doesn't make it, but something from the coin may, and we may want to keep that technology to pass on to another one.
Sure,
it's definitely jazz. It's
jazz coin.
It's totally jazz. Yeah.
I just tweeted it from our account with jazz hands GIF going on. So we're starting the revolution, and it's jazz.
I swear to God,
I love it.
That brings me to like my I guess a question for you two. Just, more about you guys personally. How did you both get into crypto to begin with? And, how did you guys meet to, start the podcast and everything like that?
So in 2008 or so, I decided to come up with this whole technology, this peer-to-peer technology. I wrote a white
We both know it was old dirty bastard Andy's.
Sorry. I just had to do it.
We've already debunked that.
I had to do it.
Your ODB is Hal Finney.
Oh my God, I had to do it. That was my chance. Anyway, I actually am a very early adopter. I mean, 2012, I was just on Reddit surfing the Reddit. I've been a gamer for a long time, so I know what Reddit is back in the day. People didn't even, I used to go, hey, why don't you go on Reddit? They're like, what are you talking about?
Speaking of Jameson.
Yeah.
Whoa. What was that?
That's amazing.
I heard Jameson.
I heard the voice of a god, and he wanted a picture of Spider-Man.
Cynthia popping back in.
Nice.
Oh, Cynthia.
What did you hear? I'm sorry. I was trying to. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you.
We heard your husband offer you some Jameson.
Oh, is that?
They heard that loud.
Was that what it was? Oh my gosh!
I heard it.
Awesome.
I heard it.
That was great.
I don't know. He was loud.
It was awesome. But
anyway, I read
Good,
it.
Andy.
I was just on Reddit, like searching. Who knows what I was on? Gaming Reddit. And on the Reddit used to post like subreddit ads on the right side back in those days. They might still do it. Where like, check out this. And I saw the wizard, and it said, check out magical internet money. And there's this wizard. I don't know if you guys remember the original Bitcoin wizard that was on their Reddit. I don't know if you guys...
It was made from like an MS Paint file.
I'll send it to you guys so you can see it.
Looks like it was drawn by a kindergartner.
Yeah, it looked like it was literally a wizard. This is true. When the first Bitcoin Reddit came, this was the logo. And it was a wizard, and it just said magical internet money. And I was like, what is that? So I went in there, and back in those days, Reddit was super informative. There was no FUD. There was none of that. All it was were people posting where to buy it, where to get it, where to hold it, and how to use it. And there was nothing else. And it was those times. I was telling Daniel off the podcast, those days are gone, and I don't know if I'll ever see them again. Because the world has changed in crypto for good, too. I'm not saying bad has happened. It's just those days was different mentality. So I really come from those days, and I've just been a believer in it. And I used to get, like, shunned. People used to come up to me and go, like, what is that Bitcoin stuff, Andy? I'm like, it's this. And they're like, whatever, it's stupid. I was like, okay, don't listen to me. The only one that listened to me, and I always say this, is my ex-girlfriend at the time that was with me. I guess I talked so much about it that she's like, I want to buy some. So, she was smart. So
good for her.
She was the only one that listened to me out of my family. My cousin even says, what do you think? I should put 10 grand on it right now? I'm like, yep. Like back in like 2013, I was like, yes, do it.
Oh my God.
And then guess what? Then like, in 2017, I get a text from him being like, oh man, I should have listened to you. Such an idiot. But anyway, that's where I got in. Daniel, if you want to.
Yeah, no, I got in because I like to gamble. And
amen.
And
hey, there you go, Buncher.
There you go. So Bovada, it was like a very popular gambling site that we used to be able to send money to. Then they stopped accepting American money, but then they started accepting something called Bitcoin. And I said, I need to find what that is so I can gamble. And so I was buying like what would be larger amounts of Bitcoin today, which was back then like $40-$50 at a time, and just using it right away. So I never held on to anything. I didn't know what this whole thing was about. I just knew that I could gamble thanks to this. And I'm still poor. So there you go.
I feel you. That's what the gambling will do to you.
Yep. Then I started gambling on altcoins, and then there we go. So.
That's so funny. Well, the gambling side is exactly how I got into.
A lot of people have, huh?
I was depositing on my sportsbook, and my bank was giving me a hard time, and I went the Bitcoin route, and then I thought I was a genius where I would win a bet, then I would transfer it back into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin would go up that week while I was waiting for games to come back, and then I'm like, oh, well, I just made more money doing that, and then I would transfer it back, bet it again, and then when it was like really started going up, I was like, okay, maybe I should pay attention and learn about this stuff, and that's what happened. And then I bought, Ethereum and Litecoin, and then I dabbled in the shitcoin realm, and here we are doing podcasts about Old Dirty Bastard.
Nice.
Exactly where you should be.
It was kismet.
So how did you guys meet? Did you guys know each other from before? How did that all come about?
So I knew Daniel through my roommate, and we just knew each other over the years. We hung out. I think.
And he had mentioned he knew about Bitcoin, and he was already in podcasting, and I was doing a comedy podcast with his roommate, and we were kind of winding down, and we wanted to learn. Well, at least I wanted to learn, because I didn't know what I was investing in, and I was like, you know what? If I don't know, there's got to be somebody else that doesn't know. And all the research that I was doing wasn't helping me. All of the other podcasts out at the time that I was listening to, I was like, this is too advanced for me, so I need something dumber. So that's where I said, I'm the key to this. So there we go. And it's been a real education, though, I will say. Really, really fun.
That's pretty awesome. So when did you guys actually start the podcast?
I think we're almost at a year.
Back in December of last year.
Yeah.
So we saw it go up, and then we said, it's going to come down.
Well,
and then it came down.
The early days were fun because we were very thankful because I did a lot of gaming podcasts, and it took a long time for me to get like audiences for that. And I feel like we've done a lot in a niche space, and we feel like we know what we are. You know, it took us a long time to figure out our format, who we are. Now we're more informed than ever, and we feel like we're hitting a stride. So we just got lucky with a good audience, I feel like, and people support us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love doing it, and I loved podcasting. And my gaming podcast co-host was like, I'm done. And I'm like, shit, I love podcasting now. So the whole thing with Daniel made sense, and that's how I'm here.
And now for us, we're here. We're together. We met each other like physically here. I don't even know how you three from the different parts of the East Coast got into this, and let alone got together to start this.
Well, I ordered a mail order bride from Canada, and Chamber showed up at my door. And,
you like to cuddle?
The rest is history. He was sitting there panhandling at a Tim Hortons, and I happened to drive by. And
well, there we go.
No, Chamber, you want to tell the story?
Yeah. So I listen. I mean, so does Bunchu. We listen to a lot of crypto podcasts. I actually heard Bunchu on one of our other buddies' podcasts, the Crypto Street podcast. He was one of the. What was the segment called again? I forget. It was like
the newbies or something.
Yeah, they did like some new people episodes where we kind of came, like somebody would come on and ask them questions, and I had been in contact with those guys, and they needed like an emergency guest, and I slid into those DMs.
I feel like I feel like you were booked for months in advance. They wanted you.
I was not.
But my favorite portion of all these different podcasts is when the guests come on. And the guests that have been, since 2011, 2012, 2013, and they came in at the top of their time. So whether it's $1,200 or $1,000, and it went down to $200, and what they did to get through the bear market, of 2013 to 15, and they're still around. Wow. And obviously some of the biggest people in crypto, or at least crypto Twitter. Out there, and that was always my favorite part of any of the interviews was how they got wrecked and how they stuck through it. And obviously, we in 2017, I got in at the end of November of 2017. And obviously, going through, you can imagine what my roller coaster ride was like. I like
just the straight down. There was no roller coaster.
I got a little bit of an incline, but yeah, it went downhill real fast. But I always thought that portion of the interview really gave a lot of hope to people. And we all know there's a ton of those people out there right now. Hopefully they're still around. But I'd put out a tweet. I work, I was driving around for work, and I was probably listening to a podcast, and I just put out a tweet. I'm like, hey, this is here. And, kind of like, here's an idea for a podcast. It's called REKT, and we just have people on. They talk about the wreck stories and how they got wrecked before and how they got through it. And Bunchu texted or DM'd me almost immediately. I'd say within an hour of the tweet, and we started putting it together. And I think within the week we had
like 4 days.
Within 4 days, we had we got Cynthia on board, and we had Coineasy as our first guest. And I mean, we had a podcast out, like we were podcasting. We had logos, and it was very fast. But yeah, no, it was, and it's been awesome ever since. And now we're OGs, and it's here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I was seeing a lot of your stuff, and I noticed, you guys kind of popped up, and I started looking at, and I listened to a bunch of your episodes, and
I have a question about one of your guys' episodes.
I was just saying, I was like, we should do something together, right? We were like, yeah, absolutely, like so.
And here we are.
What were you saying, Dan?
But no, I have a question about one of your guys' episodes, because you guys also had the opportunity to interview McAfee, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
What were your guys' reactions on that? Or how was that? How did that come about for you guys? Because we can tell you how it came about for us, but how did it come about for you guys?
Well, so I think Chamber, he put out some kind of tweet, McAfee did, and Chamber, John McAfee was on our 6th episode.
I know.
I
remember
that.
Episode. So like Chamber had put out a tweet, or like McAfee had put out a tweet saying, I don't know, it was very rare. I don't even remember what it was, but Chamber, like right underneath it was like, oh, why don't you come on REKT podcast and discuss? And like he screenshotted it to us in the Telegram group, and I was like, Chamber, like I'll give you $1 million if you get John McAfee on. And
challenge
very
accepted.
familiar to me.
And Cynthia also is she is most popular.
She's plugged in.
Ladies in blockchain. She's
awesome.
plugged in. So between the two of them, between the random shot in the dark email that we got, that Chamber sent, and Cynthia pulling some strings, next thing you know, here we are interviewing McAfee, and that was quite an experience.
Wow.
It was interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Cynthia, why don't you talk about what you thought of that interview and the whole process and everything like that?
Well, this was an interview that Chamber and I were on our own for. And
No, that was me and you.
scared.
No, it was you. It was
I
you.
mean, not Chamber. Me and Butch were on our own for, and it was kind of like bittersweet because Chamber was the kind of one that pulled it together, and he couldn't even be on the podcast. But he was kind of everything that I hoped he would be. He was good and informative in the beginning, and then totally out of his mind at the end. And so it was a little bit of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, awesome. It was funny because we were hoping, we would be able to bring out kind of that uninhibited, just no holds barred kind of John McAfee that everybody knows. And so we had a bunch of questions written down, and they kind of went from, serious to crazy. And we're sitting there, the interviews, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes in, and I'm thinking to myself, I was messaging Cynthia, and I'm like, shit, I'm out of serious questions. Like,
yeah,
and
we didn't think he was gonna, yeah.
So like we took us a while to like get him to really open up, and then by the end, if you listen to the episode, he's talking about ripping face on bath salts and getting high in the middle of a bank, and just like, and it was like what his favorite guns are, and what kind of wine would pair best, or I asked him what kind of whiskey would pair best with his
penis.
best. Yes,
I heard it.
So,
I was there going,
all
right.
We kind of went the whole straight Howard Stern route, because we were like, let's take advantage if he's gonna do it, let's do it. So,
right.
But funny. Your guys was an experience in itself, I'm sure. So how did that come about for you?
Well, it's very similar where I think you said Chambers didn't believe, or you didn't believe Chambers if he was gonna...
I didn't think he would be able to do it.
So I was like, I was feeling good. We were starting to get a role where people were emailing us, and we were doing better. We were getting interviews and stuff, because there was a time we didn't get anybody. We were by ourselves,
Now, keep in mind, we used to have a Gmail email.
Yeah, it was just a Gmail.
But now we have an official thecoinboys@thecoinboys.com email, and so but he had emailed McAfee from the Gmail first. And what was the response?
No. I emailed, our first email with the new email was to McAfee.
Correct.
I said, Daniel, our first email.
But you had emailed him with the Gmail first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did attempt with the Gmail. Yes.
And what was the response?
I don't think I got one.
Exactly.
Okay. So then I was like, listen, Daniel, I'm going to try again. And we had the new emails. I was like, our first email will be to McAfee. So I say, hey, bud.
Yeah.
Like,
he tells me, we're going to do, and my response was like, okay, because of the Gmail.
Yeah, but anyway, long story short is I got a reply maybe a few days later. It just said okay.
That was it.
And I said,
Wow.
and then I wrote, okay, here are some dates for you. Let me know. So then I didn't hear back from him. And then his wife, Janice McAfee, emailed me and says, we'd like to set up for the 12th, Andy, from the Coin Boys. I was like, right. I felt great because I had this chance to prove Daniel wrong.
And he did prove me wrong. I was absolutely shocked.
And I'm obsessed with internet history, so I did focus a lot of the part of it.
That was cool. I liked that part of the interview a lot.
And I loved it. You should have seen me. I was blown away.
It was like he was hearing Santa call in from the North Pole.
That's the same reaction. Reaction I had when he kept talking about basalts. I like talking about drugs, and when he started talking about drugs, I was a kid in a candy store.
It was insane.
The best thing he said on our cast, in my opinion, was that he said that when he met Bill Gates, he was the boringest guy he's ever met. He's like, I would not find myself locked in a room with that man.
He also said the same thing on ours about Roger Ver. He said that he was like the guy. He's like the guy can when he's on stage, like he's very charismatic and he can sell you anything, and you believe him, and he's really nice, and he's a super nice guy. And he goes, but you couldn't pay me to have dinner with him.
Yeah.
So
I love his opinions. They're great.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. So that was definitely a highlight for us, especially for it being our 6th episode ever. So that one kind of, I think, really quickly put us a little bit on people's radar, because we had a tweet out from him and all this stuff, which was pretty cool. So that was definitely a landmark for us. But anyway, so that's our chatting about crypto podcasting for all of those that are enthused by how we all started, where we all met, and things like that. You guys want to get to a couple of our segments here?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Would you like us to start first, or would you guys like to go first?
Yes, I think we should start first with you guys, and just explain where this game comes from any of the REKT listeners that may have never heard it before and can cross over to give you guys a listen.
Sure.
No worries. Andy had a guest on the show. It was Crypto Breakfast, and he's like, let's do a game. And suddenly we were searching, and suddenly we got Shitcoin or Pokemon.
Yeah. But I think before we're like, Shitcoin is sci-fi movie. No, that's not going to work.
And I screamed, Shitcoin or Pokemon?
Yeah.
Pull up a list of Pokemon. He goes, what? I'm like, pull up a list of Pokemon. And we have our game show. Andy, would you like to get us started?
Yeah, so here's the thing. We did have multiple people on another show, but I think and we only had them pick one person to represent, but I think we can include all 3 of you. Now, it's very simple. Daniel gives 14 guesses. So he will say one single word, and all you have to say is whether it's a shitcoin or Pokemon, and we'll tell you whether it's a shitcoin or Pokemon. Now, what I'll do is we'll start with one of you, whoever wants to start, and we'll go just down the line and keep going. So if that makes sense, if everyone can keep up. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so let's define an order here. I think we should go Chamber, Cynthia, and then me.
That sounds great, because that's how I have it written down.
Look at that, eh?
You'd think we're in the same room or something.
So just so you guys know, to win the game, no one has won. You have to get all 14 correct to win this game. But
it seems difficult.
It has to be. But the bragging rights are what you want to be. There's a leaderboard.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Bella is leading at 12 out of 14. That
12
is
out of 14?
Good luck.
The key to the game is not carrying.
What's the bottom? What's the basement?
The bottom is 3.
Okay. All right. We can do better.
4 is the number.
All right, Cynthia, you ready for this?
I think we lost Cynthia.
Cynthia bailed.
That's okay.
So we're gonna.
I'm so glad she came by, though.
We're gonna go with Chamber the Butcher.
It's just you two then.
Bitcoin Bela.
Very good choice. All right, so are you two ready to play Shitcoin or Pokemon?
Shitcoin or Pokemon?
Yes. Are you keeping score for us? Because
we will definitely be keeping score.
Don't you worry. You sit back and guess these names.
The rules are simple, gentlemen.
Right,
I will say your name, then I will say either a Shitcoin or a Pokemon, and you tell me if it is a Shitcoin or Pokemon. Shitcoin or Pokemon. Let's get this started, folks. Let's start off with Chamber. Your first word is Zpin.
Pokemon.
Shitcoin. Bunchu. Dynamo.
Hold on, what was that one?
Dynamo.
Can I get a country of origin?
Japan.
Hey, wait, did that start with a T?
Yes.
I'm going to go Pokemon.
That is correct.
One right.
Yes.
Chamber. Banette.
Shitcoin.
Pokemon.
Oh my God! This should just be me versus Chamber. Forget the 14.
Bunchu.
We're a team.
Bunchu. Koss.
Spell that for me.
COSS. Koss.
I'm gonna go Pokemon again.
Shitcoin.
I knew that one. Come on.
I don't know that.
Next up, Chamber. Solosis.
Shitcoin.
Pokemon.
Oh my God!
Bunchu. Seal.
Seal is definitely a Pokemon.
Shitcoin. SEELE. Shitcoin.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I'm calling bullshit on that one. Seal is definitely a Pokemon. All he does is go, Seal.
That's basically all these Pokemon.
So Daniel, you found one that's actually both.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
All right, I think we should
I'm going to give you this.
Hold on. It's the spelling. So Seal is SEEL. It's a Pokemon.
SEELE is this one.
But
I didn't ask for the spelling.
That's correct.
I was right.
That's correct.
Hold on. I'm the ref. We've never been in this situation before. So 1 second. I'm going to rule if there I'm going to rule in favor of a point. Here.
If there is a Pokemon, SEEL,
there is
you get the point.
There is.
Sounds good.
SEEL, yeah.
Perfect.
All right, so that's 2.
All right, up next is Nectar, NECTAR. Nectar, NECTAR.
Shit.
Exactly.
I'm really sweating here. Shitcoin.
That is correct.
3.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're now tied for the worst.
All right, here we go.
How many have been asked so far?
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 have been asked. We're halfway through. Up next,
7.
Right.
Zorua. 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 Zorua.
ZORUA. Zorua. I'm going with Pokemon.
Correct. Up
That's
next.
4.
Up next, Limpo.
Pokemon.
Shitcoin.
Oh, come on.
Up next,
Killing me.
Dero.
Dero?
Dero. DERO.
EERO. I'm going. I'm going to keep. I don't know. I'm going. I've guessed Pokemon the last 3 times. I'm going Shitcoin.
Shitcoin.
Yes.
That's 5.
Up next,
All right.
Team.
up next, Ferroseed.
Say it again.
Ferroseed.
Ferroseed.
FERRO seed.
Fudge. I'm so nervous right now.
Come on, Chamber. Come on, Chamber. Come on, baby.
Shitcoin.
Pokemon.
Oh, are you kidding?
Up next, Golett.
GOL.
ETT. GOLETT.
That's got to be a. I'm going Pokemon.
Pokemon. Up next.
Nice.
Up next.
That's 6, right?
Yep.
That's 6.
Zekrom.
Zekrom.
Pokemon.
Correct.
Nice.
Yes.
And final.
Right.
Final.
That's 7.
Monetha. MONETHA.
I feel like this is one that's like got to be close because I know there's a Pokemon that's
I
like
think I know this one.
there's a Pokemon that's something very similar to this. If it's not this, so this will put us. Man, all right, for the win, or I mean for the loss, obviously. But I'm going Shitcoin.
Correct. It is a
That's-
shitcoin.
That's 8.
I think
I believe you guys have 8.
That's pretty.
8. Wow, we rallied, dude.
You rallied.
Not bad.
You're above the middle of the pack. You're above the middle of the pack. And there's more than 7.
I
think we have.
got 2 out of 7, and Bunchu, you got 6 out of 7.
6. Wow.
Hey,
I got 6 out of 7. Wow.
Well,
And
not too bad. You got me on a technicality, but it worked.
Oh, that's
you guys-
right, the one I got. That's right. That one I got.
Unfortunately, if Cynthia was here, you might have won.
You guys
Who knows?
could have been. You guys could have been
Who knows?
the Pokemon winners.
We'll never know.
we could have been a contender. I have a feeling. I don't know how many of those we would have been different on, though. We'll see. Well, that was fun, though. I've never been so nervous.
It's a good game, and it also tests.
that is a great game.
It's a very good game. So that was a lot of fun. Now we're going to, ours is not necessarily a game, but this is something that we like to do on our podcast when we have guests. We like to play rapid fire. So the idea here is just we're going to shoot you with some questions. You can take your time and answer them. The rapid fire is more.
It could be a slow fire. It could be a slow
fire. But we're going to ask you guys both some questions here and just give us your answers. So we are in the month of October and Halloween is right around the corner. So we've got two kind of Halloween-ish related questions for you. First and foremost, what is either of your favorite Halloween candies?
Oh, okay. So I'm not a big sweet tooth person, but I have two that I have. But I have one that I love, and that's a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, straight up.
So that's a great one. We actually just a couple of days ago, last week I think, or maybe 2 weeks ago now.
A couple weeks ago,
yeah. We did a draft on our episode we drafted the top 12 Halloween candies, and Reese's Peanut Butter Cup went number 1 overall to Cynthia.
Yeah, seriously,
it's no joke.
That's the only candy that I buy actually is Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
That's consensus number 1.
It is.
So is that yours too?
But yeah, absolutely, and I love and that's the only one that I buy, and nothing else. But my favorite is during Halloween. They have the pumpkin-shaped ones, and they recycle them for Easter because they melt them a little bit, and then they sell them as eggs.
And then they make them an egg.
How smart of them.
I don't know if it's true.
Those ones are like a little more glossy.
I'm telling you, that's what they do.
I feel like that is true. I would not be surprised.
I have zero evidence to back that up, just my own observation.
So fun fact, real quick, in college I had a Finnish roommate who was on like the soccer team, and they don't have peanut butter like in Scandinavia. It's not a big thing. So I opened the fridge one day, the freezer, and they poured out. And I was like, why do you have so many Reese's peanut butters? I've never tried anything like it. I can't stop eating it. He was obsessed with it. So for the rest of the semester, he'd sit and we'd watch TV. I'd watch him just always eat Reese's peanut butter cups.
Listen, man.
It's really that good. Even someone that's never tried it will love it.
Even E.T. liked it a little bit, kind
of.
That's
amazing.
That's right. That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Even E.T. liked it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So the next Halloween themed one. What is your favorite scary movie?
Kazam.
Oh my God!
What?
Wait, we're gonna go here.
Hell yeah!
Listen, Shaquille O'Neal in an acting debut is absolutely scary. No,
I don't know.
You know what?
Hold on, wait. Before you answer this, you need to understand why this is such an important thing that you just said this.
Go for it.
Chamber.
Oh, you weren't joking?
Listen, Kazam is a part of my childhood, man.
Kazam was scary?
I think
Shaquille O'Neal acting is very
serious.
horrifying.
Chamber, he's serious. You need to get it. This is too scary that he said that, actually.
It's very, this is something else. So, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
We did our favorite conspiracy theories.
And my favorite conspiracy theory is the Kazam Shazam of the 90s.
Oh.
So you had mentioned the Shaq movie where he's a genie.
Mm-hmm.
In my youth, I had that one as well. But there was also a Sinbad movie.
Yes.
Did you just say yes?
Yeah, there's a lot. I know who you're talking about. Sorry, continue.
Called Yes. Yeah, exactly. So if you do remember this, we are in a small percentage of the Earth's population that remembers this. Most people don't remember the Sinbad genie movie that was alongside the Shaq genie movie. And it is it's a big conspiracy. Apparently, there's thousands of people that remember it, just not billions of people that remember it.
This is why Cynthia said the thing about the Mandela effect earlier, because that's where this came in, because the movie doesn't exist.
It does exist.
It does not.
It doesn't exist anymore in this timeline because we're in a new timeline.
Sinbad has come out and said he's never made a genie movie. I mean, what else do you need?
No, I know for a fact he did not make the movie, but I remember hearing the Shazam and I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about at this point. But the reason why I was a huge fan of Sinbad, so I knew he did not make that movie. But it made me a little sad when I saw him in real life.
Guest House was classic.
House Guest.
Oh, House Guest, sorry.
House Guest.
But the one time I saw him in real life was standing right behind me paying for junior college classes. Right after.
Really?
Yeah.
What year would that have been?
That was 2002. I felt so bad.
That's amazing.
the weirdest thing was he could have just wished for more wishes and never had the Junior College.
That's totally against Genie rules. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have a different an actual
Andy, what is your horror movie?
The problem is that I've never been like freaked out. Maybe by a video game. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be cliche here.
Sure.
When I see scary movies, I kind of laugh when I'm scared. So I would say, though, as a kid, I saw Halloween the original, and it did scare me. And that would probably have to go on the original Halloween, John Carpenter.
You know what? I just saw it for the first time
because it was really weird.
It was great. It still is good, except for the professor.
I'm a big horror movie fan. Do yourself a favor if you like that one. Go back and watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, I have.
It is one of the best movies ever made.
I'm just saying I've never been scared, but I do appreciate all. Night of the Living Dead is one of my favorites.
Night of the Living Dead, fantastic.
It broke new. It actually was like there's so many undertones in that movie. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like all the racial undertones.
The racial where you don't his skin color doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Which is one of
the trend setting back in the
what was that? Was that the 60s? That was like the 60s.
It was like 68, I think, or something like that.
Wow.
Well, I will say this: for my family is huge. My grandmother loved horror movies, so growing up, we all would watch horror movies as a family, thinking that was normal. But the shout out for the mainstream one would be the first Poltergeist.
Oh, that holds up, by the way. So I just rewatched that last year. That is a great movie still.
Yeah, still top of Steven Spielberg's scariness. It's really, really well done. And the stories behind it are just amazing. But I'm going to shout out to something that's so small, only I really saw it. But there was a movie that came out called A Haunting in Connecticut. But that was based on a documentary that was made. I highly recommend you find the documentary.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Because the way they did it was a side-by-side kind of interview of the real people plus like a reenactment that was done decently. And as for a little documentary, watching it was pretty decently scary. And the fact that it was based on a true story was really interesting behind it. So I would recommend that.
I'm definitely going to go find that.
Somebody on crypto Twitter the other day, I can't not bring this up, accused Chamber of having the worst movie takes on all of crypto Twitter.
Shout out to Crypto Jam, who's one of the biggest trolls on crypto Twitter. I love him. I know he's just in love with me. But I do. I have hot takes, but they are good takes.
Hot garbage takes.
The best hot takes are takes nonetheless. We'll take them.
All right, moving on. What was the first altcoin each of you ever purchased? I'd be interested to hear Andy, since he got in so early. It's probably something that either not around anymore or
yeah, he's pretty old. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dogecoin. Back in the day.
Okay.
Back when it was back.
That's cute.
Then Litecoin. But I actually, funny story is that I remember when I bought, around the time I was buying Bitcoin, you saw the altcoins back then, but it wasn't like it is today. And I saw, what the fuck is Litecoin? And it was like at nothing. And I was like, maybe I should put like $1,000 in this and call it a day. And I'm, looking back and I can't be mad, but I was like, man, that was a lot of Litecoin at the time.
That would have been amazing.
But yeah,
a lot of Litecoin.
Doge, because I was curious and it was fun and it was just something different in the space at the time. So it was kind of cool. Today parody coins are kind of sometimes looked down upon, but back in those days, it was really fun, so I bought that.
Yeah. As for me, I ended up not realizing that one of my best friends became a developer of NEM. So
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, his story's better. I mean.
So he hooked me up and got me into this whole mess of a thing. And I keep on trying to get him on the podcast, but he's the hyper conspiracy theorist of hyper conspiracy theorists.
But we actually had Jason Lee from NEM on the show,
and he knew my friend, and he goes, "Oh, you know him," and he was really opened up because I mentioned his name and all that stuff.
That's really cool. Chamber, what was yours? I don't remember.
I think it was Verge.
Really?
I think it was.
You were on that Pornhub move, weren't you?
You love
job,
Pornhub.
buddy.
I actually made some pretty. That one made me some good money.
I'm sure it did because my brother was in on Verge pretty heavy, and he made a ton of money really quick.
Yeah. I was like, I had Bitcoin, and then just like watching awful YouTube videos and people showing me everything. Verge would pop up a ton, and then I bought it and maybe held on to it for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then saw basically a lot of FUD on it and a lot of questionable activity, and then I got rid of it. Remember like Verge Whale? I don't know if you guys remember him on Twitter. Yeah, and like he was like at McAfee's house and the whole McAfee stuff. I'm like, I made lots of money. I'm just gonna sell it now.
Smart idea.
That's funny.
That's funny.
I remember that. All right. What is I don't know exactly how we should ask this question, Chamber. Least favorite shitcoin? I know we were talking about researching
almost like we could almost do it like our
like the purge.
The purge, yeah.
So elaborate for them.
Okay. So the purge essentially is if you could get rid of one altcoin and just rid it from the face of the earth. Which one?
Ooh.
Okay.
Daniel, you go first. Do you know?
Yeah, mine's Ripple.
Nice.
Ripple, solid.
I'm gonna go. I got to go with Ripple too on this.
It's a tough decision between Ripple and Bitcoin Cash.
It's the Reese peanut butter cup of shitcoins.
Yeah, it really is. Even ET was like, don't buy that kind of situation.
I just remember on the crypto Twitter, they were trolling the Swell event and putting like random different people on their background, like at the Swell event.
I remember
that person. It was actually one of the best trolls I ever saw against them. Like just like random, like the crackhead from.
My favorite.
Oh, go ahead. I saw the crackhead from what's it called, from Dave Chappelle.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
At Swell event.
My favorite one I saw was of Crypto Bobby, and his just said like buffalo chicken wrap expert or something. And like that's his shtick, and it was pretty funny. So
That's awesome.
All right, so this one I'm sure you'll both have an answer, but this question's for Andy. Inspired for Andy. What is your favorite video game of all time?
It's easy for me because as a gamer, you have to come up with your top 3, right? That's important.
Okay.
It's like a prerequisite to have a conversation, right?
Yes. Now, what I like to say, what are the most influential games for me, right? At the top is Diablo 2. I don't know if anyone has ever been around in those days. A lot of people haven't played Diablo 2. I'm a little older. But
I remember that. I remember that one.
It sucked the life out of me. It was amazing. I also played Diablo 1. It was one of the first multiplayer games I ever played, and I was on dial-up. And for me, it turned me. It was like, whoa, this is a whole nother world for gaming. Back then. So that's why I attached that. So yes, Diablo 2. I was a necromancer, by the way.
Nice.
Chamber, was Diablo the one that Crypto Chris Walken spent all his Bitcoin buying skins for? Is that
That's correct?
Could be true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was telling us about how he used to spend hundreds of Bitcoin on skins in the game.
On Diablo 3, they opened what's called the auction house, and you were able
this is what it is, yeah.
It was amazing. I was there at the time because obviously I played Diablo 3 when it came out, but the auction house was interesting, and it's a good example of like digital currency at the time, in an earlier time. It was a few years ago, even more, and I remember I had the choice. I could sell my skins I found in the game or jewels or whatever on an auction house for real money or in-game cash. And I would sell stuff and buy stuff with my... Sometimes I would spend real money. It was serious, and then they closed it down. They're like, this can't happen anymore.
It's kind of like Madden, with the Madden auction house.
Oh, God. Yes.
Sadness.
Daniel, you have one?
Yeah. Nintendo Track and Field.
Oh my God!
That's your favorite?
The one with the pad?
Isn't that stressful?
Yeah. That is the power pad. That was how I got my exercise as a fat little 5-year-old.
Oh my God!
I just cheated. I used my hands.
That was too much work.
I guess that was
just
a
move
good
your
game.
ankles. Just move your ankles and shake them.
I used to have that power pad and do the triple jump and all that kind of stuff.
You'd step off the pad instead of actually jump, and then you come back on before you fell. It was perfect.
That's so funny. Chamber, do you have a favorite one? We haven't asked this question.
So I'm actually, I have a very addictive personality. Obviously, we talked about my drug problems. Not really problems. I have that under control, really.
Excellent.
But I have to eliminate things from my day-to-day life because I just get too into them. And video games is one of those things. I actually haven't owned a system since probably like 2002. But my brother-in-law used to make video games.
Oh wow!
Here in Canada, here in Canada. So he'd have all the systems all the time, and would like just tempt me. And one day he brought over, I think it was an Xbox. It was an Xbox or a PlayStation. I don't know which one it was, but it was one of them. And you have to. I know you haven't played video games in like 8 years. You have to play this game. So this would have been like 2000, around 2010. But it was Fallout 3.
Oh, good game.
And
great game.
He's like, you have to play this. I plugged it in, and I think the next 48 hours was a blur. It was just like a heroin. I was like a junkie on a vendor. It was the best game I had ever played in my entire life. I haven't played a game since. I think that one, I'm like, this is peak. And then he's like, oh no, you got to try part 4. When that came out a couple of years later, I'm like, no way, that's enough. That's enough video games for me. But I thought that was the best game ever.
Awesome.
I hate to ruin your life, but there's a new one coming out very soon.
Like a part 5?
It's 74. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I don't know what the number is, but it's 70.
No, 76. Whoa.
76.
76.
76.
Yes.
I wasn't off.
Yeah.
Which is going to be awesome, and I'm getting it. Already got it, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm
What
buying
are
it for you, Chamber.
Andy?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that particular game? Am I wrong? Like, is that in the annals of best video games? Like a top 10?
Tell them your Halloween
Like-
costume.
You mean just like Fallout the series in general, or
Yeah, or maybe because I think
Or 3.
if memory
3?
serves me correct, 3 in particular. Because
3
I think
is
1
like
and
the
2
Final
were-
Fantasy 7 of Fallout, if that's what you mean. Does that make sense?
No, does
No?
not make
Okay.
sense. at all.
I don't know what that means.
Well, that's funny. I'm talking to you guys in very gaming terminology. So Final Fantasy 7 is considered the greatest Final Fantasy, and there's 15 of them. So think of that. So that's why I
Okay,
said
all right.
that. So, but obviously you guys
Okay.
don't know.
Speak to me in Poltergeist.
Okay, sorry.
Is it like Poltergeist 1?
yeah.
Fallout 3 is the best
It's the Exorcist
Fallout.
one of
I
video
believe.
games.
I agree with you.
yes.
Now, New Vegas is excellent, which followed Fallout 3. If you never played New Vegas, absolutely recommend that one too. Fallout 4
All right.
kind of was like, oh, yeah, more of the same, not really pushing it, but it was still great in a lot of its ways.
I did play the iPad game. I don't.
Oh,
there was
Fallout
a
Shelter. That's a great game. You can,
That
like
was fun. That was super addictive.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good game. But yeah, man, Fallout 76 is coming out. It's the first time Fallout's ever been multiplayer, so it's going to be interesting. I'm getting it. I'm excited. We'll see if
That's
this
exciting.
is going to be the biggest thing, but we'll see. Or it's going to be big. I'm going to be Vault Boy for Halloween at WCC, actually.
Nice. That
Yeah.
I know. I got that reference.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Isn't that, you got that reference? All right, cool.
I got that one.
I love it.
Mine would probably be, I mean, like the one that I've been addicted to, recently in my adult life is Madden. I've played so much Madden lately, like in the last couple of years. But then, but before that, I mean, if I'm going back to like I used to spend so much money at the arcade playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game.
The 4-player?
Yeah, the 4-player.
That
one.
was a game.
And-
That's classic.
And the best thing is one of my buddies that I do a lot of my mining stuff with. He is a collector, and he's got tons of like pinball machines in his basement and everything like that. And he's got a couple of like the old standing arcade games, and he has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. And I was there for I don't know, we were having a party over there or whatever. We went down in his basement. We were playing, and it took us 26 minutes to beat the whole game. And I was like, wow, that is not what I remember from being a kid.
You have advanced,
Yeah,
my friend.
and-
You have advanced quite highly.
Well, you have unlimited lives. He could just put a million lives on there. So it's just, how fast can you get through the game? So we did the math on it, and it would have cost us the equivalent of $26 to beat the game.
That's not too. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable.
Wow.
Yeah, when you were 10, you didn't have $26
No.
in quarters when you were 10. So
Wow.
whatever. But anyway, all right. One last rapid fire question, and then we got one more thing for you, and then we can wrap this thing up. So the
I'm loving
last rapid fire question: We've been asking this to every guest, including Charlie Shrem, and his response to this was just fantastic. What would be your go-to if you had, gun to your head? What's your go-to karaoke song?
I got this. White Wedding, Billy Idol.
That's a good one.
Good choice.
That's
that
the
is a good
classic.
one.
That's the one that I've done. I remember this. I was very intoxicated in New Orleans once, and I got up on like the Bourbon Street karaoke, like famous place, and I just sang White Wedding, like really intoxicated. I
That's
just felt
amazing.
It was
That's awesome.
It was a high point in my karaoke life career.
Very
So
nice.
there you go, White Wedding.
You may have peaked there.
I think I peaked. I did.
No, you never peak. You never peak. Mine is this has gotten me quite a lot of benefits after I sing it. I've tapped into some sort of weird thing, but it's "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson.
Whoa, that's a tough one. That takes some
That's
chops.
a good one.
I'm not an awful singer. I'm decent, and I don't
man.
look like I can sing. So it's like extra.
You're deceptive. You're a deceptive.
Yeah,
singer.
it's like my voice is the good looking friend, and I personally am the fat friend. So
I have that same problem. I got you. I'm with you on that
I
one.
also have that same problem.
so whenever I sing "Man in the Mirror," the whole place kind of moves. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of that
That's
one.
exciting.
That's cool. It sounds like we need Coin Boys REKT podcast karaoke night.
I'm
I like
down.
it.
That'd be awesome.
We can go visit Cynthia in Florida and karaoke with Charlie Shrem in Sarasota.
Yeah, we got that hooked up, don't we?
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
we do.
Gotta go
He
visit
told
you
us
guys over
we
there.
can come anytime you want. So I don't know if you guys
He's
listen to this.
professional. Yeah,
He said he literally goes every Saturday to karaoke.
Perfect.
And
That's
he
cool.
does.
I have the bar written down in my notes. Somewhere.
Yeah, he brings the house down with "In the End" by Linkin Park.
I love that song. Good
That's a
choice.
song. That's a good
So-
karaoke song.
It's difficult.
Yeah, so that was the best. We asked him that, and he just ran with it, and it was pretty awesome.
His eyes lit up when we asked him that one.
Yeah.
Couldn't have asked a better question.
All right, so
That's
we're
awesome.
going to move on to our last segment here, which is the REKT Index. So, Chamber, you want to tell them what the REKT Index is?
All right, so I'm going to start this off by saying I listen to your podcast. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
one thing I do notice is you guys are a little I'm gonna put this lightly here. Hesitant to make calls on prices.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here on REKT Podcast, we dive right in.
Sure.
Well, I want to get a little blood on your hands. So what we do with all of our guests, we, Bunshu, myself, Cynthia, have put some funds into some money into a fund, some Bitcoin into a fund, and what we do is all these great guests that we have on, we always ask them to recommend 3 coins or tokens that we can go out and buy as a small percentage of our portfolio, as our REKT podcast portfolio.
And we put our money where our mouth is.
And we put, exactly that. We put our money where our mouth is. So I wanted to make sure. I noticed on one of the last shows you guys did that I noticed you guys didn't want to talk about price predictions and stuff like that. So, but I do want to get a little, like I said, I want to get a little blood on your hands. I want you each to pick one.
Okay.
One coin or token that we're gonna
We're going to buy it.
and we'll put it as a part of our portfolio.
Copy that. Go for
Copy
it.
that.
One each.
Just because I've done research, we've actually had the pleasure of interviewing them a couple of times. I'm going to go with Engine Coin on this one.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah, that's a great one. Actually.
Just because I have spoke to them, I like them, and here's an interesting story: is that I heard about Engine Coin from my editor when I was at work, and he's like, "You got to check out this Engine Coin. You're a gamer. It's this crypto gaming
But
thing."
isn't that non-fungible?
Yeah, but you can purchase it.
Yeah, so it wouldn't. It's not a
Doesn't
gain
count?
or not a gain. It won't gain. That's not intent. It's not the.
But it's still something you can buy on.
You can buy it.
You can buy it. But that's
Right.
my coin, so it's non-fungible. That's the sort of blood I'm going to give you. Giving you a non-fungible
All right.
token.
I think the token I'm going to recommend.
But that's mine for sure.
I think the
Well,
token.
that's a good one. We're into that. So, wait,
Sweet.
Chamber, do we know where we can buy this one?
I think
You
it's
got this one right on Binance.
right on Binance. Binance
Oh,
has got
it
Engine's.
Kind of-
Engine's probably one of the bigger crypto gamings besides Wax. Wax is also pretty high up there. But those, yeah.
You had them on too, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
did.
did. And I'm honestly not like shilling them. I'm just telling you that I'm very attached to gaming currencies, and you're asking me, and I've actually been able to, just because I've spent the research, I feel good about Engine for sure.
All right, we got it. Lock it in, Chamber.
Lock it in as financial advice. Okay, got it.
This is not financial advice.
Well, you can't. I don't know if you could lose on this one. So there you go.
He's gonna win. He's gonna win. You're a winner.
The one that I'm looking at, and I actually bought with the over at the summit because they gave us $25 worth of free Bitcoin. Is I said I'll take Basic Attention coin.
Oh
yes,
because they put the Brave browser is amazing. So I don't
basically, you might as well, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what. I honestly don't know how the Basic Attention coin works into the economy of the Brave browser. I don't even know if that's a thing that I can, if it will increase in value or not. I haven't done the research on that one. Maybe you guys do,
We'll let you know if it does, and we'll let you know if it doesn't.
Okay, cool. So there we go. But the browser is amazing. So I like to support that because if you haven't used it, it definitely they put their money where their mouth is. You can see how many friggin' people are trying to attach cookies and locations and all this stuff to your.
I use it on my phone, and I love how it tells you how much time it's saving you and how much stuff. Like, it's terrific.
Yeah. So
and then there's like this hidden bar. There's a hidden bar that says we are secretly stealing all these documents from your computer.
Hey, no,
I'm just kidding.
That's fine.
I'm just joking. Do they have a jingle? What's it called again? Simplicity coin? Wait, what is it?
BAT. B-A-T.
Oh, it's BAT. Okay, but how do you say it out?
Basic Attention coin?
So do they have like check out Basic Attention coin? Because
you
pay
can pitch
attention because it's a basic.
You can definitely pitch that, Andy. I think they'll take it.
I'm not a good singer, obviously.
That was beautiful.
I want to make them shirts that say "Basic Bitch," and we'll sell those.
Basic bitch.
So Daniel, we actually upon this is a good one. Chamber, we actually already hold some Basic Attention tokens.
Nice.
I forget who recommended it to us.
My notes, I forgot offhand.
But it's from where we bought it. It's plus 60%. So we're going to be averaging up.
Yeah, okay. You got to average up. This is a surefire winner as per Danny Gutierrez.
Yeah. That's it, right? Exactly. So
nice.
that's it for the REKT Index.
Nice.
So we will be adding those to our portfolio as per usual. I think we're up to 32 different coins now, which is pretty crazy. So we're going to be the Nita coin of podcasts.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's going to do it for our joint show here. That was really fun.
Yeah.
So
we got to do this again.
Thanks you guys for taking the time. Yeah, we should definitely do it again sometime. Thank you for collaborating with us. It was a lot of fun. We weren't the best at Shitcoin or Pokemon, but we'll bone up for the next time.
You were by far the best. I was.
So, but anyway, before we go, just some housekeeping stuff. Anybody who's listening on the REKT stream that isn't listening to Coin Boys already, make sure you go check them out. We will definitely tweet them out, link to them, and if you like what you hear, please rate us both, rate and review, subscribe. That helps a lot. I always say, if you like us, give us a 5-star review. If you hate us, give us a 4-star review.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So. But definitely check out the Coin Boys podcast and
vice versa.
Everybody who's listening to us over here on the Coin Boys podcast, check out REKT. They're awesome. It's fun. We'll definitely be putting on your information in the description below as well, and of course, subscribe, rate, and review.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun, guys, and please say to Cynthia that we we're really glad she came, and we miss her already.
Yeah, well, she's probably churning butter with her Amish internet.
That internet, man.
That butter doesn't churn itself. Yeah. So, but I will sign off as I always do on our podcast. Until next time, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.
And we are the Coin Boys, and we'll see you next time.
His was better. You should stop there.
I know. Was I supposed to stop you?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, you do whatever you do, buddy.
You guys were great. Thanks.
That was good.
Peace, everybody.